If you're selling your parents' house and it's still full of stuff, you might be wondering, do I really have to deal with all of this? Because it's not just a few boxes. Sometimes it's the whole house. Sometimes you don't even know where to start. So the honest answer is no, you don't have to totally empty it. You can sell it just like it is. But homes that are full feel smaller, darker, and more overwhelming to buyers. Now let me show you the difference. This house is also an estate sale, so it's kind of the same situation. It's a little bit of an older, darker, dated home, but it's completely empty. Now buyers can see the space, feel the light that's here, and imagine their own life here, even without any updates. It just shows better. You don't have to completely empty the house, but it will almost always sell better if you do. So let's talk about what it actually costs to get your home into this condition. First, let's look at junk removal services. If you hire a full service crew and you have just a small clean out of a couple of rooms, it's gonna cost you probably less than $1,500. If you're doing a medium size home with a fair amount of stuff, probably $1,500 to $3,000. And if you have a large home or a hoarder level house with a lot of junk, that could cost $3,000 to $7,000 or more. But they do all the heavy lifting, hauling, and disposal. You don't have to even be in the state in order to make that happen. On the other hand, maybe you're here, you've got the kids, you're doing a work weekend, and you're gonna make it happen on the cheap if possible because you wanna save money, right? In that case, your typical dumpster rental is going to cost $400 to $800, and that can be a much more efficient way to get a lot of items and furniture out rather than taking loads to the dump. I feel like each time, now the dump is like a $40 minimum fee, and you can only get a few things in your car. You could rent a truck, but you're going back and forth a lot. So with the dumpster, you load it yourself over a few days, and it's more affordable, but of course there's a lot of work of schlepping and getting it full. What I suggest for most of my families is some sort of a hybrid approach. Take what you want out of the home first, all your personal items, and then hire someone to remove the rest. And this is what a lot of people end up doing. The option 4 is to sell as is, skip everything, skip the junk removal, but that means fewer buyers are going to be interested, and you're going to be looking more at an investor buyer who's willing to do all of that work but will pay you less for the home. So when you bring me on board early in the process, I'm a real estate agent. I help people selling probate properties like this. This is where I can help you decide. We can get some quotes. We can figure out what's worth doing on your own and what's not. And I can help coordinate the cleanup, line up vendors, and make sure that you're not spending money where you don't need to. Because honestly, the goal is not just to make it harder and do everything cheap and save money. Sometimes it's to take something that's overwhelming and pay where it matters most to make the big difference. But sometimes a few $1,000s in the right spot can make a huge difference as far as how the home presents in the marketplace. So we're looking for that 80-20, that sweet spot where it's going to be the difference between breaking your back, getting injured, taking all your time, because your time is valuable too. Sometimes you just want it to be done. And with a few wise investments, you can recoup that cost and more on the sale. And I don't want you to get stuck spending a lot of money where you're not going to have a good return on investment. So I'm curious, if you are in this situation or you've been in this situation, what are your questions? Put it in the comments. Would you clear out the home entirely, or would you sell it as is? And then if you were a buyer, what would you like to see when you come into a home? And if you're wondering what actually is worth fixing in the home once you get it emptied out, and what's worth skipping because you're not going to see that return on investment, I want you to watch my next video, and I will show you exactly where to spend money and what to skip entirely as you're getting your probate home ready for market.